That's what it sounds like, and that's a good thing.
Well, we're trying to create. I don't know if you guys are business people, but
Yep.
there's a concept called blue ocean strategy, which basically says find a new competitive space to operate in, and they call it blue ocean because the red ocean is so filled with competition, and the water's filled with blood, and what we've tried to do is do this value innovation and call it thinking out of the box, whatever. Again, to me, it's the box I've always been in, and I'm just trying to think about as a guy who spends a significant amount of money, that smokes a lot of cigars, what would I want, right? So that's the way I operated my store, and this is the way that that's the way Mike and I are doing this. So
cool. Now,
my man Rodrigo all over it over here.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
He's a smart dude. We need to talk to him.
He's giving you the love.
good cigar
Yeah,
too.
he's a sharp guy. Yeah.
But there are
I
two.
don't think I've ever.
You never had a Rodrigo.
I don't think so. Have you? No, that's not George Rico. That's Rodrigo.
If you haven't had one, you have to have one.
Yeah, we need to try it. There's a lot of, kind of on that topic, there's tons of great boutiques out there right now.
Yes, there is.
That's we talked about being 30% to our goal. Another significant part of that channel is that later on we're looking at expanding out and distributing for other brands. There's a lot of, guys in the business. Here's the thing. When I got in the business, it was a lot of door knocking and peddling. And what I mean by that is I go into a shop, bring in a couple boxes, hand them out to the guy sitting around, hand them out to the owner and whoever was the manager, buying guy, and because it's one of those things. Once you get it in your hand and you smoke it, then you're more likely to enjoy it, or go on based on the recommendation of somebody else. But the likelihood of somebody coming into a humidor when there's so many things that they're really already accustomed to, putting something new in their hand is a little bit, that's part of the challenge. And so, I've been fortunate to grow my business pretty, in a short amount of time. It's one of those things, but there are so many guys kind of fighting the same battle that I am. If we can use the relationships that I've been able to build over the years, or vice versa, and to distribute for them in some of the channels, then I think later on that I think a lot of guys will appreciate that time that I put in, to build those relationships.
Yeah, and this is a common question: is are we going to sell anything other than Adrian's and Cromagnon or our own brands on the website? And the answer is yes, right? Like I've already started talking to a couple people about selling their product, and it has to be something that I would smoke. It has to be something that's a good value, where the price reflects the quality of the cigar, and it has to be something where the person whose cigar we're carrying is in line with our philosophy in terms of customer service and in terms of how they're getting their brand out there. So, if it's some fancy pants guy from California that comes out with, a 200 count limited run every fucking 3 weeks, that's probably not somebody we're interested in working with. But I'm not talking about anyone specific.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
But, if it's somebody who's really kind of put their own money and time and is out on the road and there's quality there and they actually had something to do with blending it and they smoke it as opposed to kind of having one of the big guys just make it and slap their name on it, then that's definitely something we were interested in. I mean, a couple of guys I think right off the bat is people like Carmelo DeFazio. I've been talking to them about maybe carrying their product. Because he's an Italian, and if we have two Italians and one Mexican, then we're 2-1. and the other thing is because he makes that himself, right? I mean, he works with a small factory, but it's not like he's going to. And nothing against this, but these guys that go to Fernandez or Pepin or Plasencia or Alan Rubin, and they get them to make their cigar, and they really have nothing to do with it. They're just buying a $2 bundle cigar essentially, slapping their brand on it, and then calling it their cigar. there's a place for that, and a lot of those are decent cigars that I smoke, but it's not something that I
into our model.
Yeah, doesn't really fit into what we're trying to do. Someone like Frank Herrera, someone like Sean Williams. I mean, Sean does have a cigar made at Placencia, but he was involved in it from the very beginning, and it's a different kind of deal. So
Cool. Well, I'll give you a two-part question from the chat room. Matt asked it, and so did O'Brien's. They said, are you going to kind of package, when you're talking about your box of cigars, is it going to come with a Yuma pack, and is it going to be in cello or out of cello?
They're going to be in cello, and it's real simple because you pay so much for the wrap relief that you don't want it to get jacked up for any reason. I mean, when I buy a box of cigars, which isn't that often, I like for them to come in cello, and generally I'll put half of them in cello in my humidor and half not cello. The half that's not are the cigars that I kind of continuously pull out of there and smoke. The other half are the ones I throw in my travel humidor. I throw in my truck, and the cello protects the cigar. So this isn't something where it has to sit on a shelf and be presented to a customer. The Cromagnon, at least, it's something that has to move from place to place, and it needs to be protected while it does that. The other question was in regard to. Are
you gonna kind of like the CAO, and are you gonna, your boxes, is it already gonna have a Yuma pack in it, or no? You're just gonna be the 35 count in the box? Because you said it's kind of almost like a humidor.
Yeah, well, I would. So the answer is no, and the reason why is because Tim Swell is a really good friend of mine from Boveda, but the problem is you have to make that price work. You have to make like 1 million of them, right? I mean, you have to make a shit ton of them. It's not something that you can do on a small run cigar. But what we might do is ship a Boveda with a cube. And what we will definitely do is offer Boveda on our site. So actually, that starts in a week or two.
In the sampler pack, it does come.
Yeah, most of the sampler packs, not the pre-celloed packed ones, but anything that comes in a Ziploc, we ship with a Boveda. I mean, when you ordered yours, Mike, it probably came with a
Yes, it did.
Boveda.
Yep, it did. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a thought for you to talk about. You have a special humidor, I believe, on your site that I saw. Can you tell people a little about that?
Man, great question, right? So one of the cool things about our site that we were able to do was launch a rewards program. And essentially what it is a 4% rebate. And we call it the Cigar Weasel Rewards Program. And so if you buy $100 worth of cigars, you get 100 points. And if you go into the Cigar Weasel section and redeem those 100 points, you'll get a gift certificate for $4. So one of the things that we did when we launched the brand was we had Eddie DeJong of Vanderburg make us a custom humidor that I designed with him, and kind of along this crate concept. And we really we started working on the humidor because Eddie was helping us with the box design. And our initial box design was so elaborate that he said, this is not a box, this is a humidor, right? So we kind of expanded on that idea, made the Cromagnon cube into a humidor, which is not cheap, by the way. They really cost about $1,500 a piece. So the price on the website is our cost.
Wow.
So they're not. I mean, the hinges on it are like $150 a piece or something.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Eddie's way over the top. The wood, I think, because it uses this black walnut, old growth, center cut. Eddie can tell you all the details, but it's expensive. Right? So, and they're heavy as hell. I mean, the humidor weighs, I think, about probably 15 to 20 pounds. I mean, it's not light. So, anyway, we ordered 3, one for Mike, one for myself, and one that we were going to use for marketing. And what we're going to do is we're going to give it away towards the end of the year, around in time for people to get it, whoever wins it, for Christmas. And the way we're going to decide who wins it is we're going to do a drawing, and entries into the drawing are determined kind of 4 ways. One, you get entries if you registered our site. So basically, you just go on there, create an account with your email and a password. That way, you get our emails. Second, if you order something, you get Cigar Weasel points, and every Cigar Weasel point you earn, it gets you more entries. So probably like 10 points. We haven't decided the details, but probably like 10 points equals an entry. So the more you buy, the more you have a chance to win. But the entry makes it where there's no purchase necessary. So that's kind of like a legal thing. And then at the end of the year, what we're going to do is we're going to take all those names, put them in a spreadsheet, and send them to Steven Savoyagin, who has this application that randomizes the entries and picks a winner. And then whoever that little thing picks, we're going to send the humidor to. Lucky bastard.
Lucky weasel bastard.
Yeah, that would be Weaselly.
Weaselly, there's some great weasels. We've done a lot of cool competitions,
Our Cigar Weasel of the Week.
Yeah. That's
which there's a couple weasels. There's a lot of weasels out there, so we're not going to run out of weasels.
We won't run out of weasels. There's always a weasel in the group, right? I'm a big weasel.
I'm a weasel.
I'll show up like, what you got in your bag over there that I need to smoke?
Did you bring a cigar for me today, by the way?
All right. But see, he's already weaseling. Forget it.
I'm always on the weasel, man.
So it was something that we could have a lot of fun with, and it's really kind of a cool thing, because we recognize that hey, there's a weasel in all of us.
By the way, can I mention something here? Has anyone ever sent you as many emails or communications about how to set this whole thing up than Mike? I've gotten probably at least 10 things from Mike. Okay, at 11:30 sharp, we need you to do X, Y. I mean, it's pretty logistically
I'm
planned
still waiting
out.
on his pigeon information.
Yeah, that's true.
Me, so
I think that was just bullshit. But
I told you
his planning is top notch.
the pigeon got shot, I believe, in Texas somewhere. I think you guys mistaken that pigeon for a pheasant and killed him.
Somewhere in the Midwest, he was taken down. Huh?
Oh man, totally true story. This is no bullshit. We go skeet shooting on Sunday, right? And right next to the skeet trap and skeet club, there's a radio-controlled airplane, with those big-ass radio-controlled airplanes, those like $1,000 radio-controlled airplanes. And last week, one of those guys got a smart-ass and decided he was going to turn his plane around and run across the skeet range. And the first pass he went through, this guy unloaded and blew that shit out of the sky. It was hilarious. It was a whole fiasco, but that's what he gets. Fuck that dude.
Hey, he went in, what's that, the no-fly zone, right?